All right, this is really, really exciting, guys. Stellantis and Ram reached out to us to say that they really liked what they were doing. They invited us down to the States to meet with some of their engineers, some of their executive teams, and they also gave us a couple trucks to test out in the desert and have some fun.
Can't threaten me with a good time.
We had this cool, unique opportunity. Ram Trucks reached out to us and said that they really liked what Edison Motors was doing. Enough so that they were willing to get our flights and hotels to come down here, meet with some of their executive teams, their engineers. Unfortunately, the Ram Charger wasn't available for testing on this trip, but we also got to see their cool new heavy-duty lineup, take it for some test drives, sit down, have some discussions with the team, and just learn a lot about these trucks. So really cool episode. We tried to film as much as we could. Hope you enjoy it. One of the things I also really love about these Dodges, you can go into the settings, you can go to units, and you can set everything to kilometers per hour so that when the next guy comes in here, they use a proper system of measurement on their test drive. I gotta talk about the airbags on these trucks. I really like these. One of the cool things that I really like about this suspension setup is that it's airbags on the back. It works very similar to a semi-truck suspension, where you have your hanger, arm comes down, and then an airbag at the axle. That's the way this Dodge suspension is. So if you watch, Aldo's gonna hit the dump valve. That actually lifts the height of the suspension for the truck. So just like a dump valve works on a semi-truck, you hit a button, airbag dumps, you back under a trailer, you hit a button and it lifts back up again. It's a really, really smooth ride, and it adjusts for when you put weight on the trailer, it then lifts the height. That's cool. It's one of those funny things you don't think about for getting the shot, but no, we're showing off the air suspension and how cool it is. And Theron's kind of get us talking, but you need to fire the truck up to get the air suspension to work, and that's where he's got to get that shot.
That's the only shot to get that full airbag working.
So yeah, to get the angle of Chase talking about the airbags, I had to be right here at the exhaust, and I'm just holding my breath the whole time. Awesome, thanks Chase. Yeah, and the airbags are going up and down now. But yeah, sometimes being a cameraman, you have to get yourself into some uncomfortable places and maybe make a couple sacrifices. But yeah, is it lowering?
Yeah.
It's lowering there.
It lowered.
So the things we do for a shot.
My name is Matt Huber. I'm Senior Vice President of Ram Brand Product. So with that position, I am responsible for all products in market, including launching these 25 model year heavy duty trucks and all future product as well. The first thing you'll see, and yeah, we see it all over people's reviews, are the bold new grills. It's hard not to notice these front ends. They're in your face, but this is what truck owners want. And so new grille, but it's also seamlessly integrated into new standard LED headlights. We did new wheel lineup around the vehicle and then updated the rear ends with LED lighting as well. The thing though that we are most proud of this year and our customers are gonna notice the most is what we did to the 25 model year diesel powertrain. So 2500 is about 70% of our heavy duty pickup sales. And what we did was our customers were looking for that option to get the 1,075 pound-feet of torque available in the 2500, which it wasn't previously. Now, not only do we make it available, but it's standard, which means that those customers just got a 225 pound-foot boost in their powertrain lineup. But
So that's one of those things that, this is one of the things I really like that we've learned talking with you guys, talking with your engineers. You seem to be taking that feedback, like, hey, this is something for the heavier truck that I really want. And you're like, yeah, don't worry, we got you guys.
100%. And so if I can geek out on the transmission a little bit, when you go past the pickup trucks and go into the cab chassis, what this new transmission allowed us to do is previously we had left or right PTO hookups, but now you can do left and right PTO hookups and run them simultaneously. And we were able to boost the power to 265 pound-feet.
Wait, so I can run two PTOs simultaneously. So if I want to run two different things off the PTO, say snow plow and I got a sander, and I want to be able to turn. That's actually pretty, that's
If you have a bucket truck and you have a compressor that you need to run at the same time, they're there. And then in addition to that, we now have live drive capability as well while you're running the PTO. So the truck can be moving in any gear while the PTO is running.
That is awesome. And that kind of brings us into one of the other things we talked about in like the previous, talking about the Ram Charger and the abilities of that. All the cool things you can do with that. You got vehicle to vehicle charging, vehicle to grid charging. You can run just kilowatts and kilowatts of power to run your external things. Like you have all of kind of the PTO options built into a 1500.
You do. We're really excited about having the Ram Charger come to market because it is, we say it's the Goldilocks. It's combining the best technologies of ICE and the best technologies of an electric vehicle and making this new Ram Charger that we're going to launch later this year.
Okay, so you guys got similar technology to what we do with Edison in our channel. We got that Ram Charger. Awesome. We're building those heavy vocational logging trucks. Where's the meat in the middle? Where's my 5500 Ram Charger? That's, I know, I want it. I'm just gonna say it. For listening customer, love to see a 5500 Ram Charger. Tow trucks, vehicle to vehicle, just because when you do that, I want you to bring us back here and we're just gonna hunt around for a Ford Lightning that's out of charge somewhere and plug in.
We are always listening to our customers' feedback, and you're not the first person to tell us that this Ram Charger technology that we're coming out with is applicable in other places. So I'm glad to hear it.
It's gonna be awesome. Well, hey, thanks for inviting us down here. Thanks for showing us these trucks. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, it's great. It's been a great venue, and it was awesome to be able to run Davis Dam. A lot of people talk about it and, hey, can it run Davis Dam? And we're actually here today doing it and proving out these trucks. So really happy.
And we ran Davis Dam. Okay, so we may not be invited back once Matt here sees the video of us running Davis Dam. We're just gonna go out, have some fun in some power wagons, and do some 4x4 in Nevada. Honestly, this is pretty cool. Out here with Rich, just 4x4 and some full-size trucks out in the Arizona, I believe now. I think we made it all the way to Arizona desert.
So we saw the Cummins Rebel, which is a 3/4 ton, at the truck show, and I can't believe that Ram invited us out to actually try it and to wheel a 3/4 ton diesel through somewhere where you would expect like little Tacomas and Nissans to be able to drive through, little Land Cruisers and Defenders. That was pretty wild, and it's doing it pretty good actually. And we get to hear the sound of a Cummins.
That's right, this is wild.
The gasser's definitely a lot lighter and kind of, I say, like floats over top of the terrain more than the Cummins does. Really impressed by how the Cummins does, but the 6.4, just the sound, just. I really want to put the 6.4 in the Wagoneer now. I guess this is, yeah, this is pretty.
I'm not wearing my seatbelt, Rich.
I got you. It's just it's like we're not at the top of the cliffs anymore, so
What's your overall impression just for like taking that big Cummins out 4x4 and on little quad trails?
Yeah, pretty wild. That like the biggest thing that you need to worry about is just scratching the crap out of it, because it's such a long, big, wide truck that you're trying to make these corners super wide so all the thorn brushes don't scratch the side of the truck like crazy. It handles it fine. The sway bar disconnect, that's cool on this one. The Cummins doesn't have that. But pretty impressive. This was definitely a good time.
We are with Doug Killian, who is a development chief at Ram Trucks, and he's coming along for the test drive. We're going to be pulling 10 tons here through the mountains.
So I'm responsible for anything with a frame under it, really.
Okay.
Between the Ram side and the Jeep sides, where we do our body on frame vehicles.
What can you tell us about the upgrades from last year's model to this year's model?
Okay, so the upgrades really are primarily in the diesel engine and also an 8-speed transmission, so I can talk about that too. But the 6.7 liter Cummins, major evolution of that engine. So displacement's the same. Still a straight 6 turbo, but some of the main points that are different, power's up. It's up to 430 horsepower, and it's only a high output version that we put in the pickups now. So 430 horsepower, that's 1,075 foot-pounds of torque as well. So what we're experiencing here in the truck really is that new level of power that is going to climb us right up the Davis Dam Pass up to Union Pass.
So you say new engine, is it a new block, new crank, new pistons, new head? Like it's revolutionary, like there's nothing interchangeable? Okay.
Yes, but I'll say it's really, so all new materials, even like the intake we're going to keep on going straight all the way up to that stop sign.
New grid heater?
The fact that the grid heater is replaced by glow plugs now is noteworthy. So a couple of changes, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that one up. Gone to glow plugs. Oil filter is now serviceable from underhood, and we could take a look at that later on, as well as fuel filters. So our water separator and fuel filters are all accessible underhood now.
Okay.
That's a considerable difference.
And then it's a brand new transmission?
Take a left up here at the light. This is a brand new transmission, yeah.
And who makes it?
It is from ZF.
Okay.
It's called the Torque Flight HD is what we're calling this transmission. And in fact, you mentioned chassis cabs earlier. We have power takeoff both left and right hand side now on this transmission on our chassis cabs.
Since this is more or less a job interview, what would you say is the weakest part of this truck?
Seriously? Oh man, wasn't prepared for that one.
Yeah.
Just like a job interview. I would say probably the
Price.
well, prices. Yeah, these trucks are expensive to begin with. I would say if there's anything about this truck, and really trucks in the segment, frankly, is the recirculating ball steering. Just the steering precision that you have with the front suspension and steering design. There's opportunity there. I mean, I could see us doing a better evolution, developing that technology.
It felt very light.
Everything that we've done in our design is that everything seems to be a trade-off. If you want to build it bigger and to be tougher, you've got to go heavier. The heavier you go, you trade off. If you want more payload, you get a rougher ride.
Right.
There's some of those things that once you go heavy duty, your trade-offs.
Yes.
Obviously, there's going to be those trade-offs going from a 1500 to a 3500.
Correct.
How did you find making some of those decisions?
So I will say, at least, just going back to the weakness, is that we're always looking for ways to innovate and make things better, so that we don't want to just keep living with the fact that we think we have to make a trade-off. We want to innovate somewhere and then make less of a
Suck
trade-off.
it, Ford. Man, we just blew by that guy.
Owned him.
And we got way more weight on the back. I hope you got that on film, Al, though, because we just smoked that guy on the hill. Like, we're keeping up with the canyon. I genuinely forgot we had a trailer behind us here.
You could pass him if you want.
All right.
So back to the question, how do we balance those trade-offs with 2500 to a 3500? And we're really looking at the mission of the truck. In fact, I could even bring a 1500 into this equation too. Where as engineers do we tune and develop and call it the optimum point, or where are we going to optimize our balance around? In a 3500 dually, it's really about how well to tow, how stable is it when it tows, how stable is it full of payload, and less about how comfortably does it ride when it's unloaded, because we're looking at this truck as a primarily designed for work, and we want it to perform its best when it's in a loaded condition. So that's frankly one reason we're showing it to you in this.
Right.
Well, I've noticed you have done some things that seem to balance that, where like you're running airbags now to smooth out that ride.
That's right.
Because before, it was always like leaf spring packs, which means if you put a heavy leaf spring pack in, it's going to ride rough when you're empty. It's designed to be loaded. With the airbags, I noticed it seems to have a leveling valve system, more like a semi-truck would, where it's going to balance that as you load it. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's going to maintain that ride height. It's going to keep that distance off the jounce bumpers. And I should point out, there still are leaf springs in the heavy-duty air suspension trucks.
So I got a question then. For one of the guys, said a lot of new things. Is there anything that you really, really like on the engineering where you're like, yes, I'm so happy they did that. I've been waiting for Ram for so long to put something like that in a truck.
Getting 8 speeds behind this, getting the efficiency and the gear spacing and the lower gears has really gotten this setup we're in right now. You hardly notice there's a trailer at times. Like when you're accelerating,
I'm still impressed. 6% grade. We've been on here for 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, and barely touched the brake. That's being able to maintain a 20,000 pound load plus the truck at 50 miles an hour comfortably. My brakes are stone cold, ready for anything. It's still the biggest that exhaust brake.
Have you driven the Ram Charger yet?
have I driven it? Yeah.
How do you find the exhaust brake compared to the regenerative braking on the Ram Charger?
So we can effectively dial that regenerative braking up higher. We are to the point where the regen will have a couple settings, a more natural setting, less than 1/10 of a G, up to a couple tenths, which will in fact activate the brake lights. I think we were talking earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if you just go and you lift off in the max regen setting, effectively we couple that with our one pedal drive. So we will decel stronger, higher Gs, all the way to a stop in that, it's effectively what we call the one pedal drive.
Okay, so this from here on in is just gonna be feature for feature. You tell us your favorite feature of the Ram, we'll tell you something that we're doing. And then you have to tell us another one, we'll tell you what we're doing.
Like a ping pong?
Yeah.
I will say another cool one here is for heavy duty customers is the column shifter.
So the Ram Charger has the column shifter?
No, okay, now we're talking Ram Charger.
Okay, no, for this one.
I
got so excited. I love the column shifter. I love the column shifter.
His job is to steer us back on this truck.
Yeah,
and then we steer back on this one. Yeah.
We can keep talking Ram Charger, but like while we're in the truck, like let's talk about the truck.
Yeah, for sure. That's fair.
Just wanted to say that we just bought a 25, 55, 100 Ram.
Okay.
24? Oh, 24, sorry.
Gonna say that was.
So we are your customers, and if you need testing done on the Ram Chargers, we are readily available to do that for you.
All right. Well, you guys clearly think this way. You've been thinking about this.
Well, that's it, right.
This was an amazing opportunity to sit down in a truck with one of the engineers from Ram and Stellantis, pick their brain, talk about this truck, and like, performance is unreal. Didn't even notice we were pulling a trailer. It was nice. I gotta say, you guys are doing an awesome job here.
Well, really appreciate it. The voice of the customer. We're talking like we're always listening to our customers. We love to show off our trucks, and not just on flat ground, but somewhere like climbing up to Union Pass.
Hot weather. Temperature gauge is right where it's supposed to. Nothing out of the ordinary. Like it's nice setup. That.
We hardly broke a sweat.
What really impressed me is the one line on that test drive where like, hey, what about putting in an air fitting? You're like, you know what? We got some feedback right now from our customers. That's something we could look at. And like that feedback right there is he wasn't just like, no, this is the way we did it. Screw off, guys. You're like, no, he seemed to actually listen.
Yeah. No, we want to, we're a truck brand. So we want to listen to our customers. We want to listen to people who use trucks as trucks. And even though who occasionally does truck duty, but occasionally, most of the time, it can be a family car. I mean, our crew cabs are kind of set up for people too. So getting the right truck for the right user, we're always looking for input from future customers and existing customers, of course.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate every minute.
Thank you. We'll see you later at dinner.
Yeah, we sure will.
You bet.
All right.
All right, yeah, let's go test drive some more trucks here for fun. Here we got a cab and chassis 3500. This is what I really like because when it comes from the factory, it just comes with a set of frame rails and then you can put your own deck or box or whatever you need. And like, I use the truck for work. I want a work truck. I like having a flat deck because you can just load it with a forklift. You can use it as a truck should be used instead of a box. Like, I'll be honest, we have a Ram 35, I gotta say it. We got a Ram 3500 and I got it as a flat deck. It's got reinforced frame rails. It's got on the cabin chassis with Ram, it's flat. So you can lay your flat deck on top. Then we can use it like, we use our truck for work at Edison, which means we're picking up a lot of parts that get loaded with a forklift. This gives me the option, instead of, if I had a normal pickup box, I'd be able to fit one pallet. With this style here, with our truck, we can get 6 full pallets on that truck instead of 1. That is infinitely more useful. The cabin chassis is the best way to go, in my opinion, if you are ordering a truck.
This dualie's trying to pass me. He's having a hard time. I'm doing 120 up a 6% grade.
I'm getting thumbs up. I'm like, wow.
It's just like, holy shit, these guys are flying. Turn 132.
They're like, what the fuck are those RVers doing? We got a thumbs up from the Chevy guy.
Yeah. You are doing 134 kilometers up an hour up a 6% grade.
Yeah, hey, there goes the Zoom boom we passed like a walk. We got turned around, going the other way.
Set up cameras.
And still beat him up the hill. That guy's probably like, what the fuck? Did he just pass me on the hill?
It's a pretty obvious camper with patio in the back. Doing 135, keeping it, like this is matted, 99 degrees Celsius, which is about 212, and 71 degrees on the transmission.
So we're keeping cool, and we're climbing a 6% grade at 140 kilometers an
It's
hour.
only 19 degrees Celsius out, which is like 68, 69.
Maximum truck limit here is 50.
I'm doing 86 miles an hour.
Noise. I feel like we're at the speed though where we're impounding, not just a ticket. I'm like, hey Dodge, we at the end of your test drive, you got a 30-day impound on climbing the Davis Dam grade. Like, that would be a legend in automotive history. Remember that time Edison came out and got the truck impounded while climbing the Davis Dam? Like, every other vehicle manufacturer's like, oh, we can climb Davis Dam grade and keep it cool. And you're like, we can Ram.
We can do it while doing twice the speed limit.
Ram, not only do we like, at what point is engineering like, okay, we're really focused on climbing this Davis grade, but we need to do it twice, double the speed limit.
So we're at the top and we are at just over boiling point. Transmission staying steady at 71.
Big rads. Like you said, the big rads.
Yeah. So we're not being dicks, like kind of, but that was impressive. Like, that's the best testing that we could do.
For disclaimer, we were on a closed course for testing purposes.
We hired a lot of people to drive around us.
That's what they do on these car commercials. Like,
Oh, yeah.
They hire other cars.
They're all professionals. Yeah, so I barely touched the brake, all exhaust brake.
Well, in a tow haul. Watch where you put it in tow haul mode. So you're not touching the brake right
No,
now.
and I'm slowing down. That's fantastic.
Oh, really? Okay. Did that go? Yeah. So the Chevy truck owner that passed us just said that he would trade us even truck for truck with his dually.
So that's a Chevy dually. I think that one's about 10 years old. I think that's like 14 to 19. But they were so impressed. We were pulling the trailer. They said we'd trade even. That's pretty epic.
That is honestly pretty epic. We'll trade you truck for truck. Deal. We don't own it. Deal. Absolutely.
I should have said that. Deal.
Show up with a Chevy Magic Rat. I don't know what happened. I'll be honest, we sold this already.
Yeah, good news. We sold you a Ram.
For what? A Chevy. Upgrades. Of all the trucks I got to drive to this testing center, I got to give it up to the 3500. Like this one, but with a cabin chassis with a flat deck, that's what I'm after.
So kind of what you bought.
Yeah, I want what I
To
bought.
me, I like the Rebels to be able to kind of go off-road, still be able to put a skid in the back, still got that pickup truck look, but it's like, hey, I'm going to go camping, and I'm going to go way off in the middle of nowhere, and I am going to have my truck on 3 wheels at the same time. So yeah, pretty cool that Ram is able to kind of take care of that entire market, make an off-road Cummins truck, and gas if you want it, but still blow the doors off of anybody going up a hill. Like that was impressive.
We are here with Nick. What's your role here?
I handle media relations for Ram Truck Global. So it's my job is really to write the press kit, launch the vehicle, do the reveal, and then give you guys a chance to drive them. And then hopefully you like the trucks and get a chance to see them in their real world environment, and then we move metal. The two of you have an audience that really directly relates to heavy duty truck owners. So it makes sense that they want to hear what you have to say. So having you here, trying out the trucks, especially in their real world environment. These are work related trucks. You can't cross shop a heavy duty truck with an SUV or a small car. You have to have a truck. These trucks all have a duty. So being here at Davis Dam, right outside of Laughlin, running a really heavy grade, the same grade that our engineers test on, and having you guys do that with a variety of different trailers really works out and gives you guys a true experience of what these trucks can do.
What are your thoughts on the Ram Charger?
Oh, I genuinely like the technology. You're talking about a series hybrid now. You guys obviously have a lot of experience with that.
That's what we do.
The lack of a driveline, the first thing that's really funny is we have a rolling chassis, and I call it the naked chassis. It's the naked Ram. And the first thing I do when we walk up is like, you guys see anything missing? Yeah, where's the transmission? Where's the drive shaft? Where's the transfer case? There's no need. It's a direct connection between, there's no direct connection between that V6 and the wheels. It's all electrons flowing.
I love talking to your engineers as well, because there's a whole different way of looking at this truck. For one, the torque, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque coming out of this Ram is not transferring through the drive line, right? You've got an engine that wants to resist turning, and that's going through the frame, spinning that back axle. Now you've just got axles in the front and back that are pulling that truck ahead. There's a lot less twist in that frame, right? And then the driving experience too. There's a kind of a disconnect between the engine and you moving, because your engine is just recharging the battery. So that one load, that one kind of RPM when your generator kicks on, but it has a complete disconnect with your throttle pedal, right? Well, your engineers are saying, well, that was a really odd feeling, and we did kind of make it so that the engine does speed up a little bit with the generator, and gives you that connection to that thing again.
Yeah, people still want that connection.
Yeah.
They're still gonna feel that. And maybe at some point in time, after many, many generations of that series hybrid technology gets launched, that just goes away, or maybe the exhaust system maybe the engines become more powerful and small enough to where you won't even hear them. It's really quiet in the application. The truck itself, you were asking about a heavy duty version, and yeah, you all know that a PR's favorite response is, oh, I can't comment on future product, but I can say that truck, the Ram Charger itself, is an 8-lug. And if you look at the frame itself, it's like 9 inches thick. It's already.
She's skookum.
It's a very robust platform that we built that on, and we punched it out to be able to fit more batteries in between. It's a pretty heavy duty platform. It kind of probably plays between that 1,500 and 2,500 realm.
Yeah.
One of the things that we love about our chassis cab trucks is that we have a flat. It's a level frame rail, so there's nothing that comes above it. So they got plenty of room to work with it.
Right.
You'd have to integrate that too. So it would be a heck of a development. Not impossible,
Yeah.
Not impossible to do a serious hybrid variant of a heavy duty, but and it's
I'm sure we
definitely-
can figure it out.
We'll let you guys do it for us.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah,
race?
yeah. Here, we'll do it, and then we'll come and show you when we're done and be like, here's how you do it.
That's been excellent, Nick. Thank you
thanks
very
for doing it.
much.
I'm really
Yeah.
glad
You
have you
bet.
guys.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for inviting us down
Yeah.
here, showing us these trucks and introducing us to your engineers and all that, and able to pick their brains. It's been fantastic.
I hope you and your audience get something out of it. Thank you, guys.
That was really cool for Ram to invite us down there. We're back in Canada right now. You know, I was impressed enough with those Ram trucks. We decided to get our own Ram 5500. I know you guys are asking, are we going to convert it? We'll see. I think we're thinking of something cool. But for right now, we got to put this truck to work for what it was designed to. You see, we need houses for our employees who are moving to Golden. So we're here in Alberta. We're going to be loading up these prefab houses and haul them back to BC. So not only did we get a Ram, we now immediately have to use this Ram to move 14 houses through the Rocky Mountains. Should be fun. But that'll be one of the next videos. Stay tuned for that project.